over the stage to Dr. Shravan Haldar for inviting the next lecture.
Good morning. Now, next keynote speaker is Dr. Subhasis Mandal, Professor Canning Town, Calcutta. So I read first biodata. Dr. Subhasis Mandal, working as a principal scientist of agriculture economics at ICR. Scientist of agriculture economics at ICR. ICR Central Soil Salinity. Okay, sorry. Then Dr. Subhasis Mandal, working as a principal scientist of agriculture economics at ICR Central Soil Salinity Research Institute, Regional Research Station, Canning Town, from September 2014, and it's graduated from Vidhan Chandra Karsi Vishwavidyalaya in 1997. He pursued MSc Agriculture from GB Pant University in 2000 and completed PhD in agriculture economics from IARI in 2004. After completion of PhD, he joined as a scientist in agriculture economics at ICR Research Complex for NEH region, Umiam, Meghalaya, and served up to September 2008. After that, he joined at ICR CSSRI RRS Canning Town as a senior scientist in 2008, promoted to principal scientist in 2014. In his 15 years of career as an agriculture economist, he conducted several socio-economic studies in hill, mountain, as well as coastal agriculture farming system funded by ICR, World Bank, ACIAR, CGRI, IRRI, NABARD, DST, and other many institutes. He has also published 2 books, 55 research papers in referred national and international journal, 14 book chapter, 15 technical bulletin, popular article, and other publication. And he has awarded many awards and recognition. ICR Lal Bahadur Shastri Outstanding Young Scientist Award in 2015 in Social Science. Dr. R.T. Doshi Best Paper Presentation Award in 2005 by Agriculture Economic Research Association. Best Paper Award by IIM Calcutta during International Conference on Critical Resources, Food, Energy and Water in 2015. Dr. J.S.P. Yadav Best Paper Award by Indian Society of Coastal Agriculture Research in 2010. ICR Junior Research Fellow during Master Program, Senior Research Fellow during PhD Program, and received many other awards also. He was nominated as one of the member in task force of strengthening vocational education and training program in West Bengal, and many more achievement is there. But due to less time, I requested Dr. Mandal sir, start your presentation.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Haldar, for this introduction. And let me share the screen, then I will begin.
You share, sir. Oh, okay.
Okay. So it can be seen?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, before saying going into the presentation, I would really like to congratulate all the organizers because this is the first seminar, national level seminar is organized on this very new topic that has been has been given by the government of India, that is towards the Atmanirbhar Bharat. So our Honorable Prime Minister already has given us the vision and also the task. We can say that we have to become self-reliant, national level, regional level or local level. And for that also, not only it is the announcement, but also it has been given with the volume of investment. If you see that around the 10% of the GDP, the total value of this GDP, it has been given in the budgetary provision, like around 20 lakh crores rupees. The first time it has been given so much of thrust on different aspects, and that includes the agriculture also. The agriculture sector, it has been given like 1.5 lakh crores. So this is the something that has been the new thing towards this Atmanirbhar Bharat. The government of India is really pushing towards. For this national conference, I would like to thank you, thank you and welcome all of you in this presentation. Respected Chairperson Dr. Hayot Menkar, Co-Chairperson Dr. Ram Singh, Rapporteur Dr. Deepak Nath, and Dr. Lalrim Sangpui, Dr. Firoz Hossain, and Dr. Shastri, and all the organizers. Thank you for giving this opportunity to share some of my views. So basically what we will do that I will be trying to relate this self-reliant agriculture, what we really want to mean, and that what it impedes, that towards achieving this goal, what it impedes, and particularly I'll be focusing on the smallholder perspectives. And why will be smallholder perspective, that also gradually I'll be unfolding through this presentation. So without giving much introduction, I'm going into the topic that is the self-reliance and profitability challenges of agriculture in India, the smallholder perspectives. So already I have given that it has been nearly 1.5 lakh crores money is going to be pumped into the agriculture sector, and that includes not only in the technology, production sectors, but also marketing, infrastructure, and the policy perspective. So that is, it has incorporated everything. So let us see that how the agriculture is faring in the recent past. The agriculture sector, if you see that more or less it is contributing around 17 to 18%, nearly plus minus some 0.5% contribution to the national economy. And the OD is that the agriculture sector, if you compare with the other sector like industry, service sector, the agriculture sector, the instability of this contribution, that's it's compared to the other sectors, the instability of this contribution is higher. That's why sometimes it is becoming positive 6.8%, 5.9%, and sometimes it is also negative, like 2014-15, and 2019-20 it has increased. And I am very hopeful that this year also, this 2021, the agriculture sector will have large contribution, because other sectors, they have relatively less contribution due to this ongoing pandemic situation. And probably this is the agriculture sector, and that has great contribution to the national economy. Not only it has given a lot of confidence to the government to take a lot of many big steps as far as the country as a concern. So what we mean to say that self-reliance agriculture is essential for other sector too. It is not only important for the agriculture, but it's a great contribution to other sectors. But we have to be very careful, because the agriculture sector, it is being done mainly by the smallholder farmers. So if you look into the situation, that demand and supply projections of major commodities or the crops in India, this is the estimation has been given by this NITI Aayog very recently. And if you see that in the future demand and supply situation during 21, 22, 28, 29, and 32, 33. So in case of rice and wheat, we are most probably, if something not goes very wrong, then we'll be comfortable with meeting the demand situation with the supply situation. All this green part, those are, we will be comfortable as per this estimation, and this other color that shows that we have to be more careful and we need some concerted efforts. Like coarse cereals, that's why the Honorable Prime Minister also has given some special focus on this to increase the production of the coarse cereals. We have to be more thrust on that. Pulses production, we have to be more thrust. That's why if we talk about the self-reliant at the national level, probably these are the crops we have to be producing more. Then oilseeds crops, we have to produce more. Then vegetables, milk products, fruits, we are in quite comfortable position. and sugar crops also we need to produce more. So wherever we have the surplus production, we can think for the export to other countries, and wherever we have deficiencies. So overall, if you see the situation, the agricultural situation is, we can say that we are in the right direction, and in terms of production, in terms of the production at the national level. So basically, who are producing? What are their characteristics? The key farm characteristics in India, if you see that total workers, it is around 482 million. Then it's 90 million agricultural households. So agricultural workers, basically the two parts, that cultivators and laborers, it's contributing around 263 million. Then we have land use, net sown area 140 million hectare, gross cropped area 197. The cropping intensity is 141%. The average holding is 1.08 hectare. So the small and marginal farmer, this is the smallholder farmers, they are basically accounting around 86% of the total holding, and accounting for the 47, they are operating 47% of the area. So this is really that we have to make them self-reliant. If unless and until we can make them self-reliant, the small farmers, then we cannot achieve our goal fully. So with the strategies of more production, we need post-production management, that is the agricultural marketing, to make the smallholder farmers remunerative and towards the self-reliance. So who is currently feeding India, and who will feed in future also? So if you see that around the 32 out of the 37 states, they are the land holding are belonging to this small and marginal holders. That is the smallholders farmers. Only the few states, they have the large areas. So these small and marginal farmers, they are constituting around 40% of the marketable surplus. So this 40% of the marketable surplus, they are actually producing for the non-growers. And that's why this we need more focus, or we have to give trust to the small and marginal farmers, that the smallholder farmers in the coming days also. So what really impedes the smallholder farmer self-reliance? I'm coming into the relating with the topic of this national seminar, what really, if you really want to achieve something, then we should analyze that what so far has been not done, that we were not able to achieve that goal. So that's why when we look back, that what is impeding the smallholder self-reliance, achieving the self-reliance, the first thing is that farm size and income. Is the farm size is giving really the economies of scale, they're able to capitalize. Then sustainable use of natural resources. This is very critical. The land and water resources are the most critical resources. So we have many technologies, many ways that has been done through the ICR and the State Agriculture University, Central Agriculture University. A lot of suggestions are there, but those practices are profitable, so that they can take it sustainably. Then high input cost, that is the input cost is increasing the farmer's distress. Then risk and uncertainty, it can be in different types, like production, market, policy, and climate. Then capital inadequacy, whether the financial inclusion, whether the farmers, many of the farmers are being excluded from the current different financial programs. Then whether the farm business they're doing, whether it is viable or not, in terms of capital borrowing, whether there is some kind of risk from the borrower side as well as the lending side. Then access of technology adoptions, and then turning research output. We have a lot of research output, then how to turn this to the societal benefits, that also needs critical understanding. Then disposable of marketable surplus. Then whatever the surplus is produced, whether there is linkage, market linkages are available. Then aggregation of farmers, whether the grassroots institutions like the FPOs, whether they can really fulfill this aggregation of the farmers and linking to the markets. So these are the recent innovations, we can say. Then we cannot see the agriculture only at the macro level or the policy level without looking into the grassroots. So we have to see from their lenses also. So what government is doing, government has launched many programs, many policies for addressing all these impeding situations, all these impediments, and they're implementing different schemes. So I'll be going through some of this, what has been the government trust and what has been the grassroots level situation. So I'll try to match with this feedback from the grassroots. Then what has been the impact at grassroots, and what are the different kind of national messages we can draw from those case studies. So basically, these things I'll be incorporating in this presentation. So what is the farm size and farm income? The first thing that we can see that is there any direct correlation between the farm size and farm income? If you see that farm size and the farm income, average farm income, I have taken in during the NABARD 2016-17, as well as the NSO estimates across the different states. So if you see that this roughly we analyze that there is a weak correlation. There is a weak correlation between the farm size and farm income. What does it mean? That means except this Punjab and Haryana, they have higher farm size, higher income, farm income. But other than, see this Kerala, it has lowest average area, but the highest income. This means the large average farm income. Like Nagaland, it has the large area and then low income. And then in case of Rajasthan, large area, but average area, but the low income. So there is no direct correlation between the farm size and farm income. Rather, it is around 0.34 correlation is like that. That means that it doesn't matter that whether it is small size or the bigger size of farmers. Obviously, the bigger size, they have the advantages, but small size can also make good contributions, provided if they have the right kind of crop mix, cropping intensity is there, and they can go for the high value crops. So with this agricultural production, there is a need of this marketing system, also effective marketing system, to increase the farmers' income and for the smallholder farmers. So what do we understand by this Atmanirbhar Bharat? That means that it is the building confidence, for building confidence of for the farmers, that so that they can grow crops confidently, they can sell crop confidently, and they can earn decent income, so that they don't need to depend on other sources. So that is we call the self-reliant. So in case of natural resource management, if we look into the northeastern perspective, so these are the beautiful landscape of the Northeast, and we really don't want to have that natural resources to be utilized like this way, like this June cultivations, but it is their way of life. So actually what we want this should be used in profitable business with the sustainable use, like this terrace cultivation, then good cultivations, and then with the inclusion of the high value crops. So that unless and until we can transform this landscape into some agricultural use that will be sustainable use as well as the profitable, then only we can think of giving impetus. So what actually the small farmers, their interaction with the different resources and they have, like the first thing is that people, it is the people, they have to manage everything. We cannot ignore the population base. And then land, they have the land resources, they have home, they have homestead lands, and they have certain crops like cash crop like potato, then paddy they can take in the Kharif season mainly, and then Rabi season paddy and wheat, then mixed crop like cash crop like vegetables and other crops. Then they have pond, water, fish, and some kind of animal components also. So this is the, as household levels, the farmers, smallholder farmers, they're more or less they're having, and then we have to focus on that how these resources are interacting to each other, and how with the utilization of these available resources, their income can be increased and self-reliant. Let us see some of the good agricultural practices of natural resource management. There are a number of good agricultural practices like conservation tillage or reduced tillage or no tillage. So in the first, if you see that there was lecture in the Dr. M.L. Jatt also, the direct seeded rice in Punjab. So that has been under this situation, the direct seeded rice has been given a lot of emphasis, and it is the farmers are adopting with kind of incentive also. So there are good agricultural practices available like crop rotation, integrated farming system, residue retention, then rainwater harvesting, like Jalkund in northeastern states, then well recharging, then integrated nutrient management. It can be organic, inorganic mixture, then in situ moisture conservation, then alternate land use system like Sylvie agri-horticultural system, then organic farming, and then agro-biodiversity. So these are some of the good practices in the natural resource management that we really want to promote. So in terms of northeastern perspective, you see that organic farming, that can be one of the good ways for cultivating the farmers in sustainable way, as well as giving some kind incentive to the farmers. So if you see that the organic agriculture in India, that farm production, it is around 26 lakh tons. Then from the wild harvest is 0.38 lakh ton. The total production in 2018-19, it was 26.45 tons. it will be lacton. Yeah, it will be lactons, I think. This one. Then total exports, it is 6.14 lactons. Yeah, it will be lactons. Then the total value of the exports, it is around 5151 crores. So what is happening in the recently, we have seen that around 28% of this the organic production, what is happening in India, that is being exported, and 72% is consumed means within this country. That means it is the increasing trend in domestic market also. The consumers are demanding for this organic commodities. So it is a good opportunity for this northeastern farmers. But the problem is that whether the northeastern states farmers, they can really take the advantages. If you see these slides, that organic production by states, so the advantages is being realized by some other states like Maharashtra. Already they are well developed in terms of agriculture, and they're taking advantage of this organic production also. Then Madhya Pradesh, and then Karnataka, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttar Pradesh. So these are the states, the majority of the organic productions are coming from these states. And these are the crops: sugar crops, oilseeds crops, fiber crops, cereal and millets. So these are the crops actually the consumers, they're demanding for to be produced in the organically. So what is happening, that despite having the much potentials, despite having the much which we can say that by default organic, but the advantages is being taken by some other states. That means there is something we have to do more. It is not that only having the potentials that will capitalize what we can. So whether there is a supply demand mismatch, that we need to analyze. Then the drivers of change or the motivation factors for going for the organic commodities are different across different states. For example, Maharashtra, it is the market demand, and that's why the farmers are switching. But in case of northeastern states, it is their way of farming, and that's why the farmers, they're doing it is sometime it is more or less by the compulsion. So unless and until we have the right kind of supply chain, so we cannot give much impetus. And so that's why we need more investment, private investment into that sector. So in the case study, we have seen that in the northeastern states, that some of the constants for promoting this organic cultivations, it was like availability of the adequate amount of inputs at the farm level. That was the biggest constant. Then lack of supply chain management input as well as the output delivery, it was the second constant. And then high input cost, high cost of organic certification, that was also a big constant for promoting. So we have to, and there were some many other constants like branding, product positioning. So what we need to do, that we need to create kind of supply chain management, that I'll come with later, that what kind of model we can think of for giving the right kind of incentive. So this is another area, that reducing the farmers' distress. The government, government has given they have launched many of the programs to reduce the farmers' distress. The very recent, it is from 2018. It is the PM Kisan, very ambitious program, that if we cannot do directly, if we can do directly supporting to the farmers, so let us give the farmers, when they are in the distress, let us give the farmers directly cash to their account. So it is a big program, and like PM Kisan, target is with the 75,000 crores budget, 125 million target. Along with that, different states, they have also taken their direct benefit transfer scheme, like Raitu Bandhu in Telangana, YSR Raitu Bharosa in Andhra Pradesh, Kalia in Orissa, Krishak Bandhu in West Bengal. So these are some of the schemes that it's going into the farmers. So what actually happening with this kind of this direct transfer? So we did case studies on that aspect, that how this being utilized, how this direct cash is being utilized. So we realized that yes, this direct cash benefit is really giving a good benefit to the farmers. They are able to continue their cultivate even under this crisis situations. That on an average, because small and marginal farmers, their average expenditure is also less. So on an average, around 10 to 20% of their total this production, total expenditure on this agriculture. So around 40% of the farmers, they are covering with these benefits, and 24%, around 5 to 10%, the expenditure is covering, and they are also utilizing this money very wisely, and for this right purpose, that's agriculture purpose. Around 66% of the farmers, they have used this money for the seed, fertilizer, pesticide, tillage payment, and labor payment. And some other farmers, they have given on this like rent payment of agricultural machineries inputs, loan repayment, and some they have not yet decided to use, because some of the fund they have come late when the season has already gone over. What we realized that based on this case study, that yes, the farmers, this direct cash benefits to the farmers, it's really giving more confidence to the farmers, and it is helping the farmers to continue their agricultural operations. This is another aspect that the agricultural risk. So if we there also we studied that agricultural risk, how it is impacting to the small and marginal farmers. From this coastal West Bengal perspective, we have analyzed detail about this, that what are the different sources of the risk, like salinity, acid sulfate soil, then pest and disease damage, waterlogged situation, flash rain, the long dry spell, market price, government policy like demonetization, lockdown situation. So these are the different ways, the situation that really happening, the increasing the agricultural risk to the farmers. And many of, very often this agricultural risk, the impact of this agricultural risk are realized only at the micro level, but not realized at the macro level, because in these are the very location specific, and the farm level they are impacting. At the farm level, their impact is so much that farmers, their means production loss, and they can go up to 20-25% loss of the production, and sometimes even the 100% of the loss of the production. So means whatever the policy is, we are having at the larger perspective. So we have to see that whether these benefits are going into the farm level, and the farmers are really utilizing these benefits so that they can go for the crops with their agricultural risk is reduced. So like, for example, this government policy, demonetization policy. So during that time, the paddy prices fall and payment was delayed. And like the flash rain, and this is also happening nowadays due to the increasing the aberration of the weather aberration. So we talk about the climate change, but it is the weather aberration rather than the climate change that is affecting the small farmers income level. Because in the sometime during the just before the harvesting season, if the flash rain is coming, then almost 100%, up to 100% of the crop losses are happening. So that's we have to think that how we can reduce this kind of agricultural risk. So what is happening, that we have also tried to quantify that per hectare basis, that the farmers are actually losing around 4,000 rupees or up to the 35,000, 36,000 rupees per hectare basis due to out of these different agricultural risks. And also the sources and access institutional credit. That's why the farmers are reluctant to go for the institutional credit also, because of this high coefficient of variation in the agricultural production system. But despite having this risk, the farmers are still depending on this agriculture, and 43% they are actually depending on that agriculture as the primary sources. And possibly we have to go for the higher cropping system intensification that can give the better income to the farmers, and we can, wherever possible, we can go through higher cropping intensification, integrated farming system, and that will give right kind of impetus. And then what is the impact of this agricultural risk on net return? That also we have means resource optimization through this linear programming. We realized that under the prevailing risk, the amount of net return they are earning and the optimum allocation, if the all risks are addressed and farmers do not have this kind of risk, then how much it can be, income can be increased. That is around 38% of with the same level of resource use, the farmers can increase their income up to 38%. So that's a huge impact. That means because of this prevailing risk, the perception of this risk, the farmers are pulling themselves back to take that kind of resource use. So that if we can address that agricultural risk, so the farmers can be able to, without increasing the natural resource base, with the utilization of the existing natural resource base, then the farmers can really increase their income. Then we'll come to this agricultural marketing scenario. So we know that agricultural market earlier, it was more or less, it was the government-led market interventions like procurement for the public procurement. The main goal was to attain the food self-sufficiency, and different policy instruments was like regulation, input subsidies, minimum support price, food subsidies for the PDS system. And recently we saw that there is a lot of changes in the agricultural marketing. Reforms are coming, like towards liberalization and opening up of markets, like direct marketing, contract farming, then private wholesale market, foreign direct investment, e-NAM, organized retailing of different farm, then corporates, cooperatives, FPOs and FPCs. So what have been the major reforms? If you see that during 1950s, there was Agricultural Produce and Market Committee Act. It was long back, just after independence it was formed. Then the purpose was fair price to the farmers, reliable information, trust in stakeholders, reduce risk and uncertainties. But what it happened that it created kind of monopoly to the APMC market here. And after the long years, then there was a model APMC Act like in 2003. So it was removal of multiple licensing, stock limits, movement restrictions, but adoption was not fully across the different states. So what happens that agriculture is a state subject. This is another issue, that since the agriculture is a state subject, whatever central government proposes or want to propagate, if the state government are not really willing to do so, the different states have different kind of means adoption behavior, or they have their own interests. So across the states, we can never see that all these policies are being implemented across the states equally. Like this is another initiative, National Agriculture Market in 2016. This was created to give the unified national market for free from barrier, FDI and food products. Then there was a kind of infrastructure impediments like road connectivity, storage availability, capacity to handle large volume. So these have to address. Then Model Agriculture Produce and Livestock Marketing Promotion and Facilitation Act 2017. It was basically to replace this 2003 Act. And this also said this first time the setting up the private wholesale and farmer consumer market years was allowed. And very recently, it was the Farmer Producer Trade and Commerce Promotion. During the 2020, ordinances have been passed. So the basic objective was to give this one nation, one market, and selling produce outside APMC here. So if you see that the recent trend is that the government is really trying to push that the agricultural marketing, different kind of agricultural marketing through reforms. They are trying to give a lot of space for the farmers so that they can realize the right kind of producer prices. So this is what we know, that threshold ordinances of the 2020. Only the last month it has been given these ordinances, like the Essential Commodities Act. The three ordinances together. The Essential Commodities Ordinances, that is removal of agri commodities unless emergencies. So there is a kind of provision have been given, like earlier the stock was not permitted, like that restriction have been removed. The Farmer Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Ordinance, that is free trade inter and intrastate. So there will be no barrier of the trading in the inter and intrastates. And possibly this was in the inaugural session, our Honorable Minister, he was also referring to this, that anyone, this is the opening of the door for the all the states, for the traders, that they can buy from any states, from anywhere. Then farmers, then agreement price assurance and farm service ordinances. This will give the legal framework for the contract farming. So this kind of contract farming can give boost to the promotion of the organic farming. So what are the expectations? Different expectation, like one India, one market, removal of APMC monopoly, better price discovery, free trade, competition, and multiple buyers, and the farmers' income. Ultimate goal is to increase the farmers' income. So we have to see that how the different states are adopting this kind of policy reforms. So what is happening currently, the smallholder farmers, if you look into very critically into the agricultural marketing scenario, the small scale productions, they are producing with low to reasonable production efficiency, but they are very poor in the marketing efficiency due to the low marketable surplus. So ultimately, they are running into the vicious cycle kind of thing. Larger number of small producers producing low marketable surplus, resulting low bargaining power and low profit. And then these commodities are passing through large number of traders or the middleman, and with subjected to a high degree of post-harvest losses, because they're increasing, basically what they're doing, they're adding to the cost into the marketing channel without adding any value. We do not have any problem with the increasing the length of the marketing channel, if so long there will be addition of the value in each cases. But in case of only if the marketing channel is increased without adding any value, then that will be the transaction cost will be more. So that is currently happening for the smallholder farmers. Then beside this traditional marketing system, there is also large scale means enter into the organized retailer coming. We have to see how it is impacting the smallholder farmers. Then we need to increase the more rural connect. So overall, what we have to transform the agriculture towards the agri-business form. So how can we transform this from agriculture to agri-business? We need kind of institutions that will look into, or kind of the supply chains that will think that information sharing as compared to the traditional, there in case of value chain, there will be extensive information sharing. The primary focus, it will be value and quality instead of cost and prices. Then orientation, it will be differentiated in product. Like the organic commodities need to be positioned to the niche market. So the market segmentation is there. So we have to position our organic commodities to the right consumer. So there is a differentiated product for the differentiated segmented market consumers. Then power relationship, it is the demand pool. So we are producing that commodity because it is demanded. We are not supplying, we are not pushing the supply. While after producing, we are looking for the market. Instead, we have to produce what the market demands. Then organizational structure, it is interdependent in case of value chain. So in the supply chain, inter-supply chain, all the actors, their interests are interwoven to each other. So if one interest is broken, then the supply chain will be broken. So it will not be independent, rather interdependent. And then philosophy, it will be the chain optimization. Everyone profit will be optimized, interest will be taken care. So do you have really kind of model for this kind of means agri business model? Yes, we have. And through the institutional innovations, we can do. And some of the very recent intervention, agri-entrepreneurship like DHAT, Ninja Card, Sahaj Aharam, these are the examples. And see, we are talking about the institutional innovations like the FPOs, or the this farmers producer organization. So the expectation is that FPO will be, it is not the expectation, there are different models. They're working like Sahaj Aharam, they're working with this kind of different service providers from the farm to the consumers. They're giving financial inclusion, business planning, extension services, market linkage, value addition, and they're gone beyond to the, gone up to the this branding level also. So they're this Aram, they're selling through their own outlet different organic commodities. So the smallholder farmers, and this really we need to, for making it larger perspective, we need to means linked with this national agricultural market, that is the ENAM. Similarly, we have the example of the DHAT and the Ninja Cart also. They are also working with means many farmers, like over 2 lakhs farmers, 442 DHAT centers, 150 input suppliers, and 250 corporate buyers. Ninja Cart, this is also agri entrepreneurship. What they're trying to do, they are trying to, from the farm to the consumers, they are trying to make the entire supply chain and adding value into this supply chain, so that the interest of the farmers or the consumers will be taken care. Now the government initiative has been taken, that is the ENAM. There's a lot of expectation is there. This ENAM, it has spread across the different states. So piloting from 21 mandis in 8 states on April 2016, we see that during the last month, that is during the May month, so it has been connected to the 1,000 mandis and 20 states and 2 union territories. So FPOs have been gradually linking with this ENAM, and then value of transaction has reached beyond 1 lakh crores, and then the online payment facilities are there, and then it is trading currently 150 commodities, and there the online trading system is trying to give the kind of this flavor of the national this one nation, one market, and the farmers directly they cannot take the benefits, but through this FPO, the farmers producer organization, they can take the benefit of this kind of this national agriculture market. So we also studied that what is the FPOs happening, how it is working in the grassroots level situation. We did studies in the West Bengal perspective. Some of the NGOs, some of the FPOs, they're working in the grassroots level. So what we realized that average crop production and marketable surplus, that has increased the average production and the marketable surplus when the farmers are linked with the farmers producer companies, especially for the vegetable and fruits crops. That's the high value crops. When they are linked with the FPC as compared to the non-FPC, their volume is increasing like as compared to the non-FPC. For the Rabi and Kharif paddy, for the paddy crops, there is not much change with the inclusion, whether they are included or in the FPC or non-FPC. But the real impact is coming that vegetable and fruit crops. So if they're linking, and possibly this is one of the good things that FPCs are realizing the benefits at the grassroots level. So what additional benefits they are giving, that it is reducing the marketing cost of the farmers producers companies, those who are members, though it is in the per quintal basis, it is very small amount, but if you see the large volume of handling, then it is a good amount for the farmers. So it is reducing, not only giving the opportunities for the high value crops, but also reducing the this marketing cost. So what are the advantage they are having? So the biggest advantage we are expected to be that it was the market linkage, but current situation it is happening that if that it is instead of market linkages, basically the receiving loan quickly. So it has given the financial inclusion to a lot of member farmers, and that's the biggest advantage. Then buying the fertilizer and pesticides in a bulk quantity. So it has linked, rather than linking with the output market, linking with the input market, that's the backward linkage. It has established more strengthened backward linkages rather than output linkages. So in the coming times, so we have to see that how best these FPOs can take advantage of linking with the forward linkages also, as like it has given it has established the linkages with the back end, like fertilizer and pesticides companies, input companies, and also many of the farmers, they are making kind of innovative approaches also. They are taking and through these FPOs. So what are the different challenges of this functioning? That one challenge is that it has established good market linkages successfully developed with the like Sufal Bangla and other organized retailers. However, often the farmers, producers, companies, farmers had to depend on the open market because they are producing that quantity, entire volume is not able to handle by the FPC. So this is one problem. Then FPC is successfully connected with small and marginal farmers with banks and other organizations. As a result, they are active in regular transaction of money. So this is another advantages. Then common challenge of FPC was time involvement of organized producers. So there, it's heavily depending on the activeness of the CEO or the few members, board members. So it is depending, the successfulness of the FPOs is depending on that. And another issue is that that FPO farmer, they need kind of good business plan, because now currently they do not have that kind of professional attachment with them. So the farmers, we cannot expect the farmers, the business development plan will come from the farmers group itself. So we need kind of the professional help for the FPOs. And because the NABARD and other financial agencies, they are also ready to give the large financing to these FPOs, well-functioning FPOs. But to develop this kind of business model, we need kind of professional help. So if we can give that kind of support, technical support and the professional help, these FPOs can be grown, and FPOs can give a lot of advantages to the smallholder farmers. And finally, it is the corporate entry into the business. So you see that the organized retail market, India, huge organized retail market is $400 billion. So it is, but the organized retailer, their penetration is currently low, and possibly in the coming years, there is a huge investment, private investment are in pipeline. So that may change. And organic food segment, this is also one thing that it will reach up to 75,000 crore during the 2025. So mainly, but it will be driven by the organized retailer. So we need the kind of supply chains. Only then we can realize the benefits for the small and marginal farmers. That we have to ensure that private investment of the supply chains. The direct purchase from the farmers. Yeah, new regulation has given the space for the direct purchase from the farmers. And then market consolidation versus land fragmentation. We know that markets are consolidated through the organized retailer, but land are fragmented through these over the time of means the families are divided. So this kind of farmers producer organization that can give right kind of solution for them. And then we have to ensure that government has to be watchdog, and that how this benefits out of this agri retailing that will be shared to the farmers, that also have to be ensured. And this is the corporate entry into the agricultural retail market some of the implications that will have in the coming years, like the Reliance Geo Mart is coming, and then there is a lot of big investment are coming. So what is the way forward strategies? So it will be some of the suggestions we can give, that corporate entry be allowed the private investment. So it will give the more perfect competition and the better price discovery. Then ideal marketing model, it should include the technology, remunerative price, and insurance. Then promotion, production in clusters, that also very much needed. We have to increase the marketable surplus. So in the cluster basis, it has to be done like one crop in one district focus. Then consolidation of farmers through these FPOs. The state government to enhance the market density in the rural connect. So we have to increase the market density also per population. Then it is to be linked with the ENAM. Then agri marketing handles that should be allowed to be handled by the professionals. And possibly this is the biggest advantage, that the online trading, wherever possible, the markets, it should be online trading should be allowed, and it should be linked, so that market, there will be better market integration and better price discovery. So in the conclusion, I can say that let us make our farming viable and self-reliant through access to natural resources with efficiencies, that the critical resources land and water, by increasing the productivity. Then single window system of extension services, because farmers cannot run for different agencies for finding the solutions. So we need kind of institutional support, so that they can, like the farmers producer organization, so they can get all kind of support from the single window system extension services. Then reduce farm level risk and distress, like technology, insurance, and also the direct benefit cash transfers, that has to be continued. Then enhance price realization through value chain and supply chain, sustainable food value chain. Then attract private investment. And finally, of course, the increase in off-farm income, because farm income is heavily dependent on the off-farm income also. So that also, the secondary agriculture, we need to promote. With this, I think I have finished. Thank you. Thank you for your patience hearing. Thank you all.
Thank you. Very nice presentation on self-reliance and proprietary challenges of agriculture in India, the smallholder perspective. Thank you, Dr. Subhasis Mandal. And you also talk about the smallholder self-reliance. You also talk about the farm size versus farm income. And you also talk about natural resource management in agriculture, and also talking about rain water harvesting, that is also essential. So I thought that this speech is directly correlated this Atmanirbhar Bharat. So thank you again, thank you. But due to